Yeah, it looks like they got new little thingamajiggy. Yeah, it looks like they got new little bum 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 bum. Fucking Tesla. Yo, this gap up is fucking bullshit. I'll tell you what. I'll tell ya what. This gap up is bullshit. Good morning, folks. Hold on, let's make sure everybody gets in okay. Dude, there's nothing worse than when you get like the market gets smoked out for a couple hours and then the fucking gap up. It is a bitch. What can you do? And you can see here we're already speeding up too. This will be an interesting one. Let's make sure everybody gets in okay, and then we'll kind of fucking chat about this shit. With the homeless man. All right, cool. Everybody in? Yeah, let's go do what we do. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Hey, Derby, what's going on? All right. Yo, Gap City in the market after the big fade yesterday. I wouldn't say big fade, right? It didn't change necessarily the structure of the market, but it was a day-long trender. All right. So it was a fade, but more than a fade, it was a trended down day, which is also rare, right? So you ended up with this big pull, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, so on and so forth. So that was really nasty. And then you got the IWM, which it actually broke out here, right? So it broke its previous day's range, then it broke the 2-day range, and it immediately subsequently rolled over. I didn't see any news on this, but whatever. What are you going to do, right? So you're up about 2%. You ended up down about 0.3%. We're starting to peek its head a little bit here today. We'll see how this works. You don't want to see this kind of topping tails usually in your stocks, but the overall structure of the market hasn't necessarily changed, but the short-term price action has, right? And so now you've got, right, kind of the makeshift. This little nub here kind of gives you the makeshift of like a little head and shoulders kind of action here. So we want to be a little bit careful from today because we're going to be bouncing up into some supply zones here, and that's going to be the key. So like if the IWM, see this breakdown spot right here, right? If the IWM comes into like say that breakdown spot there, dudes, I mean we got all this stuff, and then we have this kind of base over here. So now what happens is when you get a big dump like that, you have all these levels of supply overhead that you have to overcome. And that's the problem with pullbacks, right? When you pull back too steep, you get a lot of this stuff happening. So we're gonna have to be ultra super duper careful today. And whatever. That's just the nature of the game, right? We had an easy pickings for a couple days, and then now we don't. Now we don't. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. Man, that's tough right there. We're in a weird spot here. And then you can see the Qs is just acting like nothing happened. I don't know. We'll see where the levels are. It's actually going to open up probably right into resistance here. This zone right here is going to be a fair bit of resistance. Mother truckers, right? I hate Gap City. Let me tell you something. Gap City is the worst city besides the majority of cities in California. Oh, man. Damn. All right. Let's take a look at the SPY here. SPY structure hasn't changed. We're still under this big resistance here. It may need a dip and rip to get over, but this 460 is like a rock right now, right? It's a big monster cock rock. What we need to see is just if this thing can ever break through. But that was a nasty rejection on it. I didn't see any news in the market, so it could just be a technical rejection, but it felt nasty. It was a little bit greasy. So we got to be just super mindful that we are going to be opening up into levels of supply as we come into the see like this zone right here. So like when you think about it, right, just like you have different types of support resistance, right? You have your moving averages and kind of stuff like that, but then you also have essentially overall kind of supply zones, right? And so like this, right, zone of love right there, that's a lot of supply right there. So you have to kind of like cook through it. You have to cook through it to really get some goose and a gander on some names. The issue becomes, right, you don't always cook through it just in the, linearly, like in the first test. You may come into it, then pop back, and you have to sometimes, retest a little bit of these areas. So we're going to have to be like ultra careful today and see if we kind of break through, if this was just a one-off thing, or if this was, right, something that was like a little bit more juicy McGee. All right. Now, we've got some things we can do today. We've got all sorts of little news plays out today. There's a whole host of other things that are happening that I think that we're going to be able to take part of. So let's take a look at the overall gappers today. There is small cap galore for any of you degenerates out there that, need to participate in something along that end. Dude, there's some good stuff happening here, right? There's some good stuff happening. SVD, if you wanna dive into the degen life, like you should do it. This is the time to do it. There's no better time to dive into these kind of things than when you have like a broad sector running them. Every single day, there is something like a Sarah, right? There's something like a Sarah or an MLGO, right? Every day there's been something like this. So you guys can participate. There's no getting around it. You have all the volume and all the liquidity you need. Just remember, it will take some years off your life, many years off your life. And so that's that's the general. Hey, Nicholas, how you doing? That's the general gist of it. You can trade them because there's money in them. The problem is if you stink at trading, you ain't going to make any monies on them. So it's more dependent on your skill level, how fast your fingers are and how fast your hands move, how fast your brain moves. As you know, we're in America. A majority of people's brains don't even move very well. We can blame the plastics. We can blame the estrogens. We can blame the he-she's, whatever it is, right? The collective IQ is not very strong these days. In reality, so I think what's happening is, typically only the stupid people are having a lot of kids these days. And so we're getting drowned out, right? We're getting drowned out. So moral of the story, stop trading small caps and have some babies. For those of you guys that are good traders, have some babies. Make like 5 or 6 of them, right? And then find yourself another wife. You can make a few more, right? Spread those smart genes around. We crowd out all the stupids. That's the only thing we can do to lift up the collective IQ as a nation. It is your responsibility to not kill the babies in your hand, but put them in somewhere. Now, let's find some other things to do here. All right, this series was this series buyout. Leave that alone. BTGN, I think this is this low volume bullshit. Hey, JetBlue, this type of stuff is working here. It's a little bit more of a swing kind of action, but JetBlue had earnings out and they were not received well. What's happening is after these bad earnings, they're doing the shake and bake and kind of cooking through. This is a base breakout. It's not like a fast, sexy one, nothing like that, but it is a base breakout. You can even trade options in it for like a few pennies. This has probably got a little bit of, this may have a little bit of juice. It's up 8% today, so you're not going to probably get like a huge You're not going to get huge action probably today, but this beaten down type of name has been working. If you like this type of price range, it's not a small cap per se, it's a billion-dollar company. But this is where you're looking. You know, this is probably going to move a little bit more linear, a little bit more grindy McGee. Look at this Rivian. This had an upgrade today. $23. Yo, $23 Target. I think it's 23 up $24. $23 from Stifel, old Stiffy McGee. The Stifler. The old Stifler has been giving this thing a $23 upgrade. Watch this thing. Let's go 1940. ORB around 1940. You got a release point here. Even Lucid was up yesterday. You know, when Lucid's up, like things are happening. Let's add this in. That might be even top of the list. Man, that's nice. Man, if we could get just a little pull at the open and the show and go, like just a little something like that, man. Like we got this, I'm like little pull, right? And then we come in for the third, then we get the 1, 2, 3. Right? Man, that's nice. That's nice. Well, that's 2 beers in a bucket. Fuck it. All right. That's 2 beers in a bucket. Let's just see what Lucid's doing just in case. Well, see this old Lucid. If you like this level of price, you have 50 million shares of volume, 60 cents range yesterday. Nice bottoming pattern here. Look, even the volume pattern is starting to change, right? See these accumulation bars here? Now, for me, like Lucid's more of like Lucid's more of a stock that like seems to like it's got a low ATR, but you still like 50 cents. If you're in the if you can do something for 50 cents and survive, go for it. Look at this GDX as a gold miner. So you got a pop and go. Oh man. Look at this. This is like breakout, pullback. You got a flag here. What's the multi ETF for GDX? The old nugget, right? This is the 2X. They used to be 3X till Direxion lost its fucking balls and made them 2X. Bastards, right? These used to be 3. 3 is always better than 2. Simple math. For those of you guys that didn't graduate college, you got the GDDs. Look at this thing. That's nice. They may have a chance. It doesn't have much liquidity. That's the problem. Let's see what old JNUG is doing. Old JNUG. This is the Junior Gold Miners ETF. Once again, it's not a 3. It's a 2 because Direxion lost their balls. This. Not much volume, though. Yeah, and you know what? It seems like nowadays, if you don't have options on the stock, they just lack the liquidity. All the degenerates come out so hot these days on the options. Like the people are buying options like $5 stocks, right? So it's like the volume just comes in. It can work. You know, we may just need to try GDX may be better just because it's got more volume, but you can see here too, gold. This is something you guys got to be a part of. We got to look for entries on it, but this is an all-time highs breakout here on the old gold, right? You got 10. Well, it's all-time high breakout on the GLD at least. You got 10-year breakout and a multi-week breakout here, multi-year breakout on the weekly. You're getting inside candle so far. Bros. That's nice, man. When this takes out this zone, whew, right, you're going to go as long as it doesn't do a failed breakout, which seems to happen sometimes. Yeah, I think we want to start accumulating some of this. Once it starts to break, then you want to be hitting it up on the dips. Yo, gamer, baby. And you can see here, right? Just a nice, good God-fearing Christian setup right there. Don't worry, we're building out this list one by one. All right. Amazon up. Shopify stock likely has limited scope for further money. Junk. Old cock here. This is a Carnival Cruise Line. Got flag pattern. Junk. Junk. This is Barrick Gold Mining. This is all these gold stocks are just slowly but surely pushing through. They don't trade enough. You'd almost have to do the options on them just because they only move like 2-3% a day. You'd have to do the options on them, but then they'll move, the 30-40% or whatever. But you got room to you're clearing all this level right here. You clear out this spot here. I mean, you got a straight shot to 20. Damn. All right, hold on here. Rock come from. Hey, the old Googler's got multiple PRs out. Let's go to the Googler. You're up about 4%, so it's got a pull here. But they got 2 PRs on McDonald's eyes 50,000 restaurant count globally by 2027, and they're going to be adding in some type of Google thingamajiggy. Oh, yeah. The company has formed a partnership with Old Alphabet, Google Cloud, improve operations as restaurants globally through the use of generative artificial intelligence. We're excited to see how McDonald's will use their generative AI cloud to the iconic dining. Iconic dining experience of Mickey D's. That's really something, right? So that's pretty sick. Imagine an AI is like a tool for the rich, and now we're going to use it as a tool to make the poor fat. That's some high-level stuff right there. It seems like par for the course of everything else we do. Old Googlers trying to figure out how to feed people more seed oils. I like it. It's profitable to make people sick. Dude, you got a flat top breakout setting up here. Let's hit this thing. Let's hit this thing on the first dip. So the ATR on the Googler's at 3. It's already at 5, right? But it's got news out. 2 pieces of news. We can add it. You got to only hit it on dips. So if it ORBs, meaning say it opens up like another 1% and it goes sideways, you don't want to take that opening range break, because it's going to have used up too much range. What you got to do is let it pull, right? Let it pull back into its EMAs. Then you're going to have something. What we believe. That's nice. Add it. DG. Earnings out today. This is the type of setup that's working in this market. You got beaten down name. This thing was at $300, right? You spent about a year losing all its cheddars, right? Getting down to 100. Now you've rounded out here, right? And now you got a little bit of an earnings surprise. Third quarter results, top street views, customer traffic improves, blah, blah, blah. You got a spot right there too. All right. Now you're breaking out. Let's see what kind of marination we do on this. This may actually have a chance. This may have a chance here, folks. I think that's actually, that's a good setup right there, just due to the fact Dollar General stinks to trade. But due to the location, where if you can hold this, you've got a gap fill all the way up to here. Now, is that going to do it today? No. Dollar General probably doesn't have the profile to move in that manner in one day, but the float on this is fairly low, 150 million for, a big cap company. That's a good caseless right there. Dude, you got Raymond Justin just price target to 140. Keeps a strong buy. That's a buenos. Then you got AMD launches new AI chips yesterday. That's a nice buenos. That's probably top of the list right there. What you think? What you think? God damn, 2 bears in a bucket right there. All right. Cool. Let's add this too. First pullback on this. Let's see if it holds. Chunk. All right, let's see on the downside what kind of news plays we got. Then we'll go through the regular watch list and we'll narrow down this focus here because we got a little bit too much going on here. All right, a small cap. Old CXM here. Hey, that's a blast from the past. Got a downgrade on this bad boy, huh? Man, these little turds stink the trade. Hey, Chewy's got some earnings out here today. This is the dog food company, is that correct? I don't understand how this thing can go down. White people love dogs. Hate people love dogs, right? If you were shorting, if anything, we should be shorting human stores and buying the dog stores, right? There's nothing worse than when like a white person's on like Instagram and they're like, it's my baby's birthday. And you're like, oh, like how old's your child? It's like, what grade are they in? They're like, no, my dog. Whoa. All right. It's my foo-foo's birthday. Or they'll like post a picture with their man and then they'll have the dog and they're like, our family's growing. It's like, that's not a family. That's not a baby. That's a dog. So what we should be doing is probably shorting Amazon and buying Chewy. Because how in the world are white people supporting Amazon and not Chewy? That don't make any sense. But yeah, we got a level here. I think we got to play this today at some point. Let's see what's up. Add it. I don't know if that's a 6 windows because these gap down shorts haven't been working that well, but we add it for now. This I can get behind. This company's a big turd too, right? So you're dropping down. You already got 1 million shares in volume. You got room down to here. Oh, I think we add that one too. All right, so we got DG, Chewy, AI as like kind of a Dapper McGee's. We got Googler, AMD as kind of scalpies on the first pulls. You got JetBlue if you're feeling a little bit randy about some risk. Only on pullbacks, all right? You got the Googler, Tesla. Hey, man, Tesla had a nice run, but then it faded off. It's fading off on strength 2 days in a row, right? Pop, fade off, strength. Pop, fade off, strength. Pop, fade off, strength. So I don't think this is like, until it kind of clears those zones, you may have to leave it alone here a little bit. Till it kind of clears that out. Because right now, if you see here, right, this is kind of your trend line that it's been following, and it's just been running into it and fading off and running into fading off. We got to be a little bit mindful. It's just not, the price action on this has been very weird. You just can't chase it up. So if you try to chase it up on strength, it's going to get you dusted right in the nuts. Hey, keep an eye on this W. This is probably like, if you don't mind a little bit higher price name, like this thing is ready to party. If it just breaks this like kind of zone right here, I mean, that turns into kind of a swing flag day trade setup. What I mean by it is like you take it as a day trade, but if it starts trending, you can even keep some for a swing because it's an earnings breakout with high type flag after it. All right. So I want you to keep that. If we need a short, old NVIDIA has been getting dusted here, right? If we need a short, I wouldn't touch this. Sometimes they'll grind up the 50-day moving average for many days. But if it broke under like 450, we could take it. But otherwise, we don't want to touch it too much because it can fugazi where it just dips and then rips. I'll give you a prime time example. This 400 was like this huge spot, right? If you guys remember, we shorted it this day when it broke under 400. And we caught like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 points. But then immediately reversed, and that ended up being the long, right? It's like everybody in the world's looking at that 400 break, and then it rips under, and then they take it back, right? We call that the show and go, right? The show and go. So, very similar setup. If we actually break under 450 and the market stays a little bit bullish, then this probably actually turns into a long. So just be mindful of that. Sometimes when the market is strong, the best short setups actually is the trap for the long. You got to have the picture perfect on these. Now, I don't like shorting into the hole anyways, right? So it's like you see this thing down like 50, 60 points. It's not the ideal candidate. Man, look at this jobless claims got the market goosed up. Bastards. Not much we can do on that one, folks. Not much we can do in the overall index. We'll have to see if it pulls back. We got these earnings plays that we can do, right? We got JetBlue, we got the Google. It's not earnings, but news plays. DG. You got big over here. Jump. You got S for a day 2. All right, so let's reframe this all. All right. This is the top of the list. We got old JetBlue, only if it has a big pull. We got the Googler, only on a big pull. We got DG. This is potential for ORB, all that stuff. We got AMD, multiple pieces of PR and an upgrade today. That can work too, all right? Those are the priorities on earnings type play. On just regular tech names, if the market goes, we've got a spot on W day. Very, very simple setup. There was a bunch of PRs out yesterday on the pay now, buy now, pay later stocks, right? So we want to also be taking a look at these dips on SQ, right? PayPal. I think both of these, PayPal's got a better location. I think this buy now, pay later thing is not going away. People are feeling the pinch, right? Not the good pinch, but the bad pinch. You got about 60, 25. Let's see how this reacts. If it goes red to green today, I think we got ourselves probably a good spot. And it's got an awesome location on it. SQ moves a lot better because its ATR is bigger. And it has like a higher percentage ATR. But it's a little bit more extended. The PayPal has a better location, right? Now, on the other side, you can see a firm's ready for a pullback. You had a reversal candle on this yesterday. See this? Little nub here. When you see the middle finger, right? When you see a stock with the middle finger up on it, what that usually means is the first pop, you want to take this thing down. So my other worry with this kind of PayPal SQ setup is if this affirm gets busted, then they all might get busted together. And if that's happening, right, then we'll play accordingly. But I think we want to take this affirm. We want to, man, I think we want to short this piggy to the first pop. Especially if the market's going to be so extended and then this thing is already down, right? So you got the relative weakness on this. First pop. Let's take this pig down. Downtown Julie Brown. Good. Rivian's a priority today. Big upgrade, big base. Yeah, Rivian's a priority, big upgrade, big base. Affirm, first pop. I think we want to short. AI, I think AI is probably going to need some work. Going to probably trade better than Chewy, though. Well, let's see what we're missing here. All right, this is how I want to set this bad boy up. All right, 6 windows. You got Rivian, AI, Affirm, AMD, the Googler, the QQQ. Always keep your index up, right? Then you go second. We got the old Chewy, the UPST, PayPal, SQ. I've been watching gold, but this is more for a swing entry. And then we got the old Dollar General. All right. What are we missing? You can add as secondary plays. You can add it for secondary plays, right? The W day, that's more of a swing. A little jet blue. Airlines stink the trade. It's working okay right now, but in general, airlines stink the trade. I do think there's one other one that we may need to watch. GME had earnings out today. You know, it's gapped them down here a little bit. I'm not sure the play on that one. Old Hershey, huh? Hey, that could work too. Not my particular flavor because it's right under a 200-day moving average. Whatever, potato. You're from Miami, so it's like, you know, you into weird shit. I know what goes on there. I know what goes on there. Just put some hats around. Morning, Mom. What's going on? Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's do it, people.